Guys, anything she says to you is a lie. That's not how we met. I used to drive trucks. She was my mechanic. She had heavy chest, heavy legs. One day my truck broke down. She was like, "Hey you need to propose to me." That's how it all started. Now she has me trapped in a closet, locked up. Look at this. With candles lit. Do not believe her, guys. It's not the story she's saying. It's all a lie. She was my hairy mechanic. That's how it all really started.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. For those who are new, welcome. And oh my god, she's already falling asleep. Zena, we have a video to make. Zena. Anyways, welcome back, Fab Family fans. Today's video, I'm going to talk about how I got proposed to. So this is a pretty... Well, first of all, I got proposed to when I was 21 years old. And we were already living together. At the time, when we first moved in together, we were living with his mom. Because he convinced me to move in with them. His mom also was in agreement with that until we found a place of our own. I really wasn't for the idea at the beginning, and I think I should have listened to myself, not because anything bad happened, but you know, sometimes when we're young, we're in such a rush. I don't know where we think we're going, you know, like time is ticking. I don't know, we feel like we need to do things so quickly, and we really didn't have the need to rush into that. You know, I really could have waited till we could have actually had our own place, but you know, you're young and you just want to be with this person regardless of the circumstances. And you know, thank God, you know, everything worked out and I didn't just move in with a psycho. Obviously I had been talking to him for a while, so I felt really safe when I was moving in with him, so everything worked out perfectly. So yeah, we were 21 years old and we were living at his mom's house at the time, and he proposed on New Year's Day after the ball dropped. It just so happened that one day we were out, you know, window shopping, and he, you know, we always had spoken about marriage, so it wasn't weird for me to hear him say, like, let's go look at rings and see like what kind of ring you like, you know, for future reference. And so as we were shopping that day, you know, he said, let's go into the store, and we started looking at rings. And so I started pinpointing the rings that I liked, and there was one that really caught my attention because it was different from every other ring, you know. And I said, this is the one I like. And so my husband is very detail oriented. You know, at the beginning, you know, I didn't really know that about him. Obviously, I got to know that about him as time went on. But he's a very good listener. And he's very detail oriented. And he looked at the ring. And I don't know if he took a picture. No, actually, I'm lying. He, at the time we were with his brother. I don't remember which brother it was. Was it his brother? It was someone. And he got that person to distract me and go to another store with that other person. I don't know exactly, you know, it's been so long, I don't know exactly what we were looking for in the other store, but it was like right next door to that ring store. And somehow he was able to make the transaction that same day, you guys. That same day he bought the ring that I said I liked. And I didn't, like, he was so good. Like, it was so good, like, how he planned it out. I didn't even think anything. Like, I just, you know, because he was having a conversation with the guy from the jewelry store. And so that's when the other person and I went into the next door, to the store next door to look. I don't remember what it was that we started looking at. But he was able to make the transaction while I was in the other store. Meanwhile, I'm just thinking he's having a conversation with the jewelry guy, with the owner of the jewelry store, and just trying to get prices, and and trying to see how he's gonna budget himself. But he was already ready, and he took me out ring shopping, and he already knew he was gonna get the ring. And obviously, I'm telling you guys, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't have a clue that he had the ring already. And so he must have had that ring for maybe 2-3 months before he proposed. And that ring was so close to me this whole time, and I didn't even know. He says this to me all the time, like, the ring was so close to you and you never knew, that you were getting proposed to so soon. I had no idea, you guys. I thought this was happening. I knew that at some point he was gonna he was gonna propose to me, but I didn't know it was gonna be that soon. And so New Year's Eve comes, and he made sure that all my family from the other states and his family were all together at his mom's house that New Year's Eve. And we had such a great time. Everybody was there, and I was just so happy because all my family was there, and we had a good New Year's Eve. Ball dropped. Everybody is, having a good time. And bam, all of a sudden, my husband says that my mother, and his mother had to go into the room of the house, into our bedroom at the time. And still, you guys, this was happening. I had to go into the room with my mom and my mother-in-law, and I still didn't think anything of it. The last thing I had in my mind was that I was gonna be proposed to. The last thing. So we go into the room, and one of his uncles is like chaperoning the door, making sure none of us get out. And I'm inside the room with my mom and my mother-in-law, just thinking like, what's going on, And the last thing I thought was that he was gonna propose, because I was in there with them. So it didn't click with me that that's what was going on. I thought maybe it was like he had a gift, but I never thought it was a ring. So we were there for about 3-4 minutes. Then they come get us. And well, first they say to my mother-in-law to come outside. Then my mother. And then me. When they tell me to get out, his uncle blindfolds me. And I'm still clueless, you guys. I'm still clueless. And I get to the living room. They open my eyes, and he is on one knee. Hopefully we have a video or maybe a picture that my husband can put on this video right now. And I open my eyes, and this man is on one knee. Nobody still knew what was happening. So when my mother-in-law comes out, he has flowers for her. Then my mother comes out, and he also gives her flowers. I guess just as a sign of appreciation, to his mother, and for respect to my mother. He had already asked for my hand. My husband did things very old-fashioned. I'm very, proud when I talk about this, because despite the fact that we were so young, my husband did things the very old-fashioned way, which I love, because he knew my parents were gonna be so much more happy if things were done that way. And even though it's such a scary way to do things, I know it's very intimidating for a guy to go up to the woman that he loves, his dad, to ask for their hand. It's a very intimidating thing to do. So I applaud every man of this generation who has the pants to go and ask for that loved one's hand to the dad, because that is a very brave, in my opinion, move to make, and it's the right way to do things, in my opinion. But anyways, I wasn't expecting him to do that either. One day we were just having dinner at my mom's house before I moved out with him, and he legit, asked for my hand to my dad, and it was the most manliest, sexiest thing he could have ever done. I was nervous for him, and I knew he was nervous himself as well, but he knew that that was the right thing to do. And I never forget that day. It was my mom, my dad, his mom, and at the time his stepdad, and it was a very memorable night, and I'm so proud of my husband for doing that. It meant a lot to me, and I know it meant a lot to my parents. So going back to the day of the proposal, this man is on one knee, and nobody still knew that he was doing this. So he was just bringing them out, and everybody's like, okay, what is he doing? And so when he gets on one knee, everybody's just like, oh my God, what is happening? So only a couple people knew what was happening. His not the young brother, his middle brother, Jeffrey, not the young brother, the one in the middle, knew, because I believe he bought the flowers. And his uncle, I think 2 of his uncles knew what was happening, because they were recording this. And an emotional moment, I opened my eyes and I saw him on the floor with the ring, with the exact ring that I chose at the store. And to be quite honest, when I saw him on his knee and he opened the box, I didn't even realize it was that ring, because I had so many emotions in my head, and I started bawling. Like, I was crying hysterically of happiness, of course, and I was just in shock. Like, I couldn't believe this was happening at that moment. Like, I didn't expect it to happen at that moment, and it was emotional, memorable. I'll never forget it, and everybody is just like emotional, crying with me. It was a very special moment, and of course I said yes, I'm here. And it was just amazing, you guys. Again, I didn't expect it to happen at that very moment, because I didn't think we were in a place financially for him to be able to buy me that ring. One, but he, at the time, he had a very, he wasn't making a lot of money. And the fact that he saved his little earned money, the money that he was making, that was not a lot at the time, to buy me a ring, meant a lot. And for a lot of people, it might seem like, oh, that's so average. Like, he proposed to you in your mother-in-law's house, like on New Year's Day. Like, that's so typical. But it was so special to me because of the circumstances, and because I knew that he put his hard-earned money into that ring. So it was very special. Again, I say. And the rest is history, you guys. We lasted a very long time engaged, because we finally got married when we were 26 years old. So we were engaged for about 5 and some change years. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I thought I was gonna first get married and then have my son or daughter at the time. Of course, I didn't know what I was having, but things didn't happen that way. We got engaged. We shortly after moved out of his mom's house, and we're on our own. We got our first apartment, started, reaching milestones together. Then I came out pregnant. It wasn't planned, but I wouldn't change a thing. I just feel like everything happened the way it happened for a reason. And then 2016, we got married, which, by the way, we're gonna be posting a small clip of our wedding day pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Give my husband a big thumbs up for being a brave man, for asking for my hand the old-fashioned way, for being himself, for loving me, and for putting all the effort when he had nothing to get me that ring. Give him a thumbs up, you guys. Show him some love. Show us some love. Stay tuned, Fab Family. We'll be back with more. I want you guys to remember this now and forever. Be kind, be grateful, hustle, and pray on it. We love you guys.